Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room Recap for Wednesday, May the 3rd. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. This is the address I get in. I share my screen all day long, and I get live on the mic at about 9 a.m. and up to 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Well, as opposed to yesterday, I found today a little bit choppy. There are always trades. I mean, you come into this room, there are always trades. Found yesterday just a little easier, and maybe it was just the ones that I was looking at. But anyway, did have some trades, and let's take a look at a couple of them. Anyway, I think about four of them I'm going to take a look at. This one, SPWR, I actually had this on an alert. I think I have erased it already, and I had an alert set for right around here. You can see on the daily chart, and I'd said yesterday that if the solars ever get going, this has a decent chance at perhaps filling this gap. So what happened this morning? Well, back to the 5-minute time frame. First Solar released earnings, and look what happened. I mean, just spectacular rise, and that really, I think, of course, helped the SPWR and probably a lot of the other solar stocks. So Holly actually had that as an alert at 7:34, right there. So I ended up taking the trade at 7:38, and it just didn't really sustain itself. I mean, this is what I saw a lot happening, just a lot of choppy action. I was able to get out at 7:48 and 7:51, and I think at 7:40 on the way down. So I mean, on a percentage basis, it worked out okay. But to be sure, I would have loved to have seen this, at least take a stab at 8. But anyway, it just didn't happen. Another one I tried earlier was an earnings play, FireEye. Just didn't work. I mean, I got into the trade at I think it was at 14:32, and it popped up to 14:52, and then it came right back down, and I basically got out flat. So that was another one. And again, look how whippy it is. Just not that great. I actually had said though also that on the daily chart I wasn't in love with it, just because. See, right here, you see right there, we have some, and look where it spiked to, almost right to that area. But I thought, well, maybe because it is an earnings play, maybe it'll trump that and it'll just keep going, but it just didn't happen. So another one that I got into from Holly, and the jury's out really. I'm going to show you another one, but this is one of those nickel spreaders. The bid is say 28, and the ask is 28.05. So there's a difference of a nickel, but and there's I think there are about 1,200 stocks like that. I may be wrong, but this is an sort of an experiment that the SEC is doing, maybe trying to drive down volatility. I don't know exactly what it is, but anyway, this is one of those nickel spreaders. Now I have been a little reluctant to take these, but what I've said in the past is that I don't care if it's a nickel spread. If it's really moving, it doesn't really matter. And so I looked at this one, and it is earnings. So I thought, okay, there is a catalyst at least. And here it was, here's earnings, the Mauve area, earnings released in the pre-market. And so there was a catalyst. The actual alert happened at 1786, but I wanted to wait for the whole number break. I got in at 1810, all right? And so I got in up here, and I got very lucky because then look what happened right after that. I mean, I think it popped to 1816 or something, nothing major. And then right after that, I mean, my goodness, it went all the way down to 1780. I was able to get out at, I think it was 1805, so I took a dime loss on that one. Pretty lucky on that one because, it was very, very whippy. I also said that perhaps the relative volume wasn't big enough. If I'm going to get into one of these again, then I want to see that relative volume. The relative volume was 3. I mean, it's not horrible, but also had 80 million in the float. So right after that, what happens? We get this one. Got the alert right about here, 2244, nickel spreader. I said, nah, not going to take it. 2244, it's 24.39, so almost $1. On this one. The difference may have been, though, that the relative volume was 11. Remember, the other one was 3. So lots of activity. It's another earnings play. So lots of activity, and also only 25 million in the float. The other one had 80 million in the float. So, I guess the moral of the story, I suppose, is that not all nickel spreaders are created the same. So, I just can't maybe make a blanket statement saying I'll never trade them again. But anyway, that one definitely would have worked. Um, Let's see, what else happened? Akamai. Akamai actually turned out to be okay. Akamai was another earnings play. You can see it just got devastated with earnings. The mauve area here, they released after hours yesterday. Continued down, had a little bit of a pull up, a little bit of action right here. And, whoops, let me just get rid of my Skype. Just one second. Okay, so I actually ended up taking the short at 52.79, right about here, right underneath that whole number. So right there, I took the short, and then it popped up. Okay, it popped up, and I took a loss on it, 52.94. So I took about a 15-cent loss on it. And then I reshorted it. As it came back down, I decided to reshort it and reshort it right about here, 52.70. I don't know if I'll be able to, well, that's close enough. It was actually 72. And then it finally started to work. I actually took a little bit off, so I was able to withstand this little pull up here, and then it really started to collapse. And so, I got out some at 52.60 and then 52.28 and 52.15 down here. We were all really watching, those of us who were in it, to see if it could break down through 52. It just didn't happen. So anyway, that is what happened on that one. On this one, WD, this one knocked me out. Again, I got kind of lucky, and look how whippy this is. Another earnings play. I think if we look at the daily chart, you'll see why I decided I like this one. Zero resistance over on the left. And so when it got over 53 right here, decided, and yeah, it was actually right there. So you see how this little action, little pullback, and then it popped over 53. I took the trade right there. I got very lucky on this one. Look at how it just collapsed. I was able to exit the trade, and then look what it did right after that. But then look what it's doing now. So I mean, very, very, very whippy and all. So this is what I found a lot of them were doing. This was a miss by me. Unfortunately, I had to take a phone call. I was talking in the room about this one. Another earnings play. Look at this. It collapsed after hours yesterday. Tried to rebound a little bit in the pre-market today. Moved all the way down, and then I basically alerted the room right around here, just on this, just on the 35 break. And then I had to take a phone call, and it just moved almost $1. So, but a lot of people took the trade, so that's good. Happy for them. And yeah, we'll see if it can take out the pre-market high. Maybe I'll just set an alert at the pre-market high. So anyway, that's what I found today. Kind of a strange, choppy day. FOMC minutes are. I'm not sure if it's a real minutes. I mean, this is very early in the month. But something is happening at 2 o'clock. So that might be the reason for a little bit of the volatility. Though usually you don't see so much volatility. You see at the beginning of the day choppiness, and then it kind of settles down as people wait to see what will be announced. But anyway, that was my day. And just here's a crazy one in case you didn't see this one. Strip Metro Space. So this is what can happen. Look at the daily chart. If you haven't seen this one before, read it and weep. Here we are, less than a month, basically a month ago, a little less than a month ago. This stock is just trading at $36, and here it is at $155. Big bidding war. This is what happened. I think AT&T is looking to take them over, but a bidding war, and here, the company said an anonymous buyer. Maybe people didn't quite believe it. Started to move down, and then today the announcement was that And this anonymous buyer has come in at 136, and they're basically giving AT&T 3 days to respond. And I guess the market is thinking that they're so valuable, the wireless spectrum, I guess, that they control, so valuable that maybe AT&T will make a better offer. So anyway, we'll have to see on that one. All right, everybody. Well, that's it. Get back into the room. Again, I'll open the room, excuse me, between 8:45 and 8:50 every day and get live on the mic at 9. And I share my screen. And yes, it is a free room. So if you are a guest, doesn't matter. You have to be a member of Trade Ideas. It is a free room. So we have some sensational traders in the room, I have to say, some just excellent traders. It's not just about me telling you what to buy or sell all day long. In fact, that's not really what the room is all about. It's just we've amassed great traders. Most of us use Trade Ideas, and that's why we like to be in the room to collaborate and help each other. But certainly as a guest, you can see how we use Trade Ideas, and then, ultimately, maybe I think that you'll decide to sign up, but there's no pressure. We've had people in the room, have been in the room for several months before they finally sign up, and that's okay. There's zero pressure. I put some links in the room about 3 or 4 times a day just to show you the subscription links, all our webinars and things like that. But certainly there is no overt pressure. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow. Bye bye.